we're excited to introduce the first program, which is really a workshop. And I am truly excited to introduce you to Leah and Kelsi. I'm hoping that they're here to join us. Here they are.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Wonderful local sisters that are from the Big Island of Hawaii. And they are going to actually do, we're going to show their workshop from the Fresh Look webinar. And so with that, I want to say that it's so wonderful to have local florists, Hawaiian florists, to share with us, especially to the many off-islanders who I'm hoping are watching, that about the traditional art of lei making. So what is it about lei making that is it part of your business, your business, Ainahua Floral?
It is part of our business. So we do create various different styles of lei for custom orders that people request.
Awesome. So how much of your business is lei making? I know there's two of you, and not one of you definitely specialize in lei, and that's Kelsi, right? And Leah does all the other stuff, and both of you together tackle a lot of work there on the Big Island.
Yes, so about, I would say 60% or so of our business is leis, yes.
Wow, that's a lot. So how many would that convert to in numbers, like say per week or per month?
On 100 a week or so, 100 standard leis plus 8 to 10, like lei po'o or the akuli leis. That's just on an average week. That doesn't include the weeks that we have events and group special events and stuff like weddings and so forth. So, or it also doesn't include graduation month either.
Oh my gosh, that's many, right? A lot of work.
Definitely.
That's wonderful. What great news. So at this time, let's roll your video.
Excellent.
Kelsi and Leah Mercado are two sisters who operate Ainahua Floral in Kamuela, Hawaii. They started out with Tutsi Whaler of Kaleo Napua o Hawaii in 2007 and formed Ainahua Florals with Tutsi in 2008 and also with her daughter, Jillian Moniz. Leah specializes in design. Leah, raise your hand. That's Leah. And Kelsi specializes in lei. Kelsi, that's Kelsi. Don't they look gorgeous? They look alike. They did a great job at our last event teaching haku lei making. And now I would like to present to you Leah and Kelsi. You know they can.
Aloha. Welcome to the 2024 Fresh Look Expo. We wanted to thank HFNA for allowing us to be another presenter this year, and we're very excited to have all of you join us. They have an amazing group of designers that we get to learn and grow from over the weekend. And we also wanted to thank each and every one of you for making the trip to the Big Island to participate in Hilo with us. As Kathleen mentioned, my name is Leah, this is my sister Kelsi. We're Ainahua Florals out in Kamuela. It's about a 60-minute scenic drive on the Hamakua coast. We're a full-service flower shop, specializing in everyday deliveries, weddings, events, and of course, making leis. So we're located on Hawaiian Homes farm lots. So we're able to grow various plant material, flowers that we use to sustain our business. as well as gather and purchase from different farms around the island and throughout the state. We definitely like to support local farmers as much as possible. Without them, we wouldn't have much to work with. So on our farm, one of the flowers that we specialize in would be the ice plant, also known as a kuli. So it's a succulent ground cover. One of the other presenters are going to be showing it in their design. We didn't want to take that away from them today. So we have the kuli. It's a small, vibrant colored flowers that we pick early in the morning when it's still in the budded stage. So before the sun comes up, we have to be out there on our hands and knees, and we're just picking these cute little flowers to make our leis. So for the leis, we have used at various occasions throughout the year. Graduation would be a big occasion for us. Also, any kind of hula competition or event, as well as pañola parades. So the pañola parades, actually we'll have one in Waimea this weekend, where not only the people have the leis, but also the horses get leis too. So for those of you who don't know what the word pañola means, it's just Hawaiian cowboy. So as a lot of you know, leis are a big part of our Hawaiian culture. It's a blessing to give as well as to receive a lei. So personally, I feel like the lei is the physical embodiment of aloha. So just like your wedding band, there's no beginning and there's no end. As Leah mentioned, we give leis for all different occasions. She mentioned hula events. So the Merry Monarch Hula Festival is an annual hula competition, the biggest in the world, held here in Hilo. You'll definitely see a nice variety of leis represented at that event. A kuli for sure. They like to give the orange a kuli to the judges. A lot of the halaus will, or hula groups, they'll do songs that, depicting the akuli flower. So it's a nice, vibrant lei that they wear. Graduation is also a big lei occasion for us. We like to adorn our graduates with various types of leis. We like to stack it on them all the way up to their head. On both of their arms, they'll have leis. So that's one of our biggest lei occasions. And of course, everyday giving for birthdays, retirements, when you get picked up from the airport, when you're leaving Hawaii. We also give for not so happy occasions, celebrations of lives and funerals and so forth. But lei giving is a very big part of our Hawaiian culture. There are different styles of making lei. So perhaps the most popular style of making lei is the ku'i style. So in ku'i style, you use a needle and thread and you pierce the flower either through the center or on its side. So the pikaki and pakalana lei here is sewn in the ku'i style, where we pierce the flower through the center with the needle. Another popular style would be the vili style. The vili style is where you wrap the flowers. On a central backing. So here we use the raffia as the backing, as well as the agent to wrap the flowers. Generally, it's made in a pattern. So I started with the money leaf here, so we can just continue on with your pattern. And you'll just wrap it on. We use the palapalai fern to help support the back, as well as to hide our mechanics. So palapalai is also known as scented hay or hay-scented fern. It's a soft, pliable fern. It's the same variety that you have on your tables there. So you'll just continue on. You'll just add your flowers and continue on wrapping the flowers onto your backing. So that is the vili style of making lei. Another popular style is the haku style, which is a braid. So here again, we use raffia to create the braid, binding the tea leaves. We use tea leaves to braid the tea leaf to make this design. So today we're gonna learn the Heiley style of making lei. So Heiley is using just one material to create your lei. In the Heiley style lei, we will be braiding the palapalai fern. So this is an example of the braided palapalai or the Heiley style form of making lei. The first part of our workshop is we're gonna be actually showing you how to make the tea leaf rosettes first. So eventually you'll have a lace similar to this here. So everyone has several sizes of leaves, tea leaves on your table. I would start with the big ones. For us, it's the easiest. We're gonna just take it off the midrib here. There's a video we'll demonstrate, and then we can do one together. So we have the shiny side of the leaf, and then we have the dull side. So the shiny side will go down on the table with the cut side facing you. You're gonna fold it into thirds. So fold the bottom third up, and then the top third down. Like this. We're gonna make a triangle and angle down. So it's the angle down. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll 2 times to the left. I like to go to the left, Kelsi goes to the right. So it depends on whatever you're comfortable with. It comes out the same. Holding we like to call this the pico, or your center of your flower here, your leaf. Holding it with one hand between your thumb and index finger, with your other hand, thumb and index finger, pointer finger, sorry. You're gonna flip this back while you rotate towards your finger hand. So you're gonna rotate back and flip towards the middle 2 times, and then you're gonna rotate around to create the rose, just around the base here. You're gonna keep going until you run out of leaf or towards the end. Some people like to soften the leaf by either running it over an open flame. You can iron the tea leaf. Some people boil it, some people freeze it. We just left the leaves out of water for about a day or 2, and that softens it enough for us to work with. We find that doing it this way without fully burning the leaves, it kind of makes it a little bit more dimensional. Come on, something like this. This is your rose that you're gonna be making. Okay. So everybody wants to just start with cutting your leaf, and then we can do it together. So we have the spotted leaves. If you wanted to use these to practice, they also make for a nice design within the flower. We do have more of the spotted leaves if you wanted to do more of like the yellow or brown coloration of the rosette. All right, so everybody have at least one leaf cut. We can all do one together. Okay, so shiny side down with the cut leaf facing towards you.
The rounded part.
Rounded part would be out. You're gonna fold the bottom third up towards the middle. And then fold the top third down to meet the bottom. And it is gonna overlap, yes. So you're making a thin, not a thin, but just about a 1-inch piece. Okay, and now we're gonna make our first fold, triangle fold down, so there's gonna be a triangle on one side.
So again, whichever way you're more comfortable with, Leah does it
Yes, hold on towards
on
you.
the right, and I do it on the left. So whichever way you're more comfortable with, it comes out the same. So you can practice both ways, and then decide which way you're more comfortable with.
Okay, so with your index finger and your thumb, hold your triangle, and you're gonna roll it 2 times towards your other hand, just 2 little rolls. Roll it towards you. You're creating your pico, or like a thick portion in the middle. This is where your rose is gonna be based off of. So you kind of want it to be a tight roll. Okay, now we're gonna do 2 things at once. We're gonna roll with whatever your pico is in, and then we're gonna fold back with the other one. So as this one rolls in, you're gonna rotate this back. So when you're flipping your leaf away from you, when you flip your leaf away from you, you see there's a crease on the top of the leaf here. You want to try and grab the leaf at the crease. So that's a good area for you to fold back to create the petal.
So it's not completely folded over anymore.
After your 2 rows, then you're gonna just flip. You're flipping around and we're just rotating around and around. Fold back and turn your picot around and you're just going around it and around it and around. Keep going until your leaf almost runs out. And when you have about maybe a 2-inch segment of leaf left, then you're gonna pinch the 2 tails together. And you're gonna tie your raffia at that base. We'll come around to each individual table. And then this is where you're gonna flip away from you and roll in at the same time. So flip back, back. Yes, yeah. So you flip back and you roll at the same time. So this way.
This way?
That way, yep. So flip and roll. And roll in. So that's the key. You have to roll in this side and flip at the same time. In the front, go around. You can fold your leaf in again a little, okay? Okay. There you go. I'm glad you taught me that way. Yours is so beautiful. Thank you. Rotate your rolls and left and flip at the same time. Yeah.
Keeping that and right. You have to do that at the same time.
So yeah, same time as the roll. So I was telling her that where this tea leaf is. It's still a flower though. It's still a flower.
Like that was being nice. It's like that flat tire.
Okay, let me see. And you're gonna keep it about 1 inch away from your other hand. Then you're gonna rotate it and roll. Sorry, flip back and roll. And you wanna keep holding this secure. Yeah. Your foot. Okay. Yep. Oh, you got it, Mike. You don't. Okay, now thumb in the back, and then flip and turn. Yeah, keeping it tight.
I'm rolling the wrong hand.
Yeah, so flip with the right and roll in with the left. If
That was my issue.
Yes.
Right there was the rolling of the wrong hand.
That was definitely
That
your
was
issue.
definitely my issue.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to the second portion of our workshop here, where we're gonna do the Heiley style braiding and incorporating the rosettes that you made into your lei here. Okay, so to begin, we need to prepare your fern here. I'll go on this side. Oh, I have to touch it. Huh? Okay. And we do have more raffia, yes, yeah. So to prepare the fern, you're just gonna strip it, just like this.
All of it?
All
So,
of the
yeah.
bottom. Yeah, all of it. So you have the stems. Okay, yeah, so you're gonna hold the fern and strip the bottom leaves off of it. So you're only gonna be left with a tip.
How many are we stripping out?
About 10. Some of you have larger leaves than others, so 10 large leaves. If you have small ones, you can do about 12 to 15. Does everybody know how to braid? Braid, okay. So we're gonna be braiding the palapalai stems together, and that's what's gonna be the back structure of your lei. Does anybody need more raffia? Yes. Okay, we'll bring some around. All right, so once your leaves are stripped, you're gonna take three of your fronds, line up the tips here, and then we're gonna put a raffia at the top to secure them together. Make sure your leaves are off, your ferns are facing all the same way. So the front side's gonna be facing you. So it doesn't have to be your whole leaf. I kind of do maybe like the top third of your leaf that you have here. And then we're just gonna tie it off with some raffia just to secure it in place.
Tie it like in a knot.
Yep, just in a knot, yep.
You don't have to be, raffia is how long? Just a little bit like that?
Uh-huh, yep, this is way long enough, yeah.
So you tie the three?
Tie the three together, yes. Just maybe like a 3-inch at the top, leave the fern, and then tie it.
So you cross first and then tie it?
No, just bunch it and tie it. Just putting the front side of the fern facing you, so up. The raffia is going to be used to tie your lei at the end. If it's not long enough, you can add another piece of raffia at the end.
Is the knot in the back?
The knot is at the back. Or it doesn't matter actually. It's your tie. Yeah. Okay, so once you have your raffia knotted, what you're gonna do is braid the stems like a regular braid.
Like a regular braid.
Like a regular braid.
You want it tight?
Tight, yes.
Very tight.
And then just gonna kind of mess up a little.
Yes, it's fine. From the raffia down, yes.
Yes.
Well, you're gonna
Just
do
braid
maybe about
several times.
3 or 4. All right, so once you have a small segment of braid, you're gonna use the pieces of fern that you ripped off to put 2 on top of each other. And if you want it to be, your haku to be a little wild, you're gonna braid it in 1/3 at the 2/3 at the top, so that's gonna be sticking out. If you don't want it to be wild, then you just braid it more towards the middle where you put it. So you're gonna put your fern,
So 2 at a time.
fern bunch in the middle,
On the
middle leg, and then you're gonna braid one side over to secure it in. You just do
So
one,
just one. Just one over.
Couple, like 3 or 4, just going from the raffia though, starting from the raffia and braid the stems.
So again, you're grabbing just 2 pieces of fern. Place it on the middle leg here. And then you're just gonna do 1 turn of your braid.
To hold the fern in. Okay, and then you grab 2 more pieces of fern and do the same thing for the middle leg again. So 2 pieces of fern, put it in the,
adding to the middle
always adding to the middle
of
leg,
your
yes.
leg.
Okay.
The important part of doing this lei is to keep your 3 legs separated at all times. You don't want the ferns from the first leg getting bunched up with the second leg. So what essentially we're doing is we're building onto the fern back here. We're building onto this part to kind of like build the base of your lei. And that is what holds your lei together.
You also have to remember which leg you're gonna fold over. Are you coming from the left or are you coming from the right when you're braiding?
We do 1 braid over.
That's it,
Just
yeah.
1 braid
One
over,
braid.
yep.
So you're gonna get your grouping, put it in the middle leg, braid it in either left or right. And then 2 pieces of fern,
to the middle leg and braid in the other leg. Okay, after you strip your leaves, you're gonna tie the top part, and then starting from the raffia, you're gonna just braid the leaves together. What was that?
If it breaks,
What if your
it's
stem breaks?
okay.
Then we'll just add another one.
If one of the legs breaks, it's
yeah.
okay. Because really, it's the ferns that you're putting on top of each other. That's the base. That's going to be the base of your lei.
So the fern grouping that you put in the middle is either going to go to the left. That's going to be now your left leg fern grouping along with that leg. And in the middle, you're going to add another fern grouping. When you flip it over, that's going to move to the outside. So you're always moving. Yeah, you're always going to move you're going to put the fern in the middle, yes.
It always goes in the middle. It's just whether you bring in to braid.
To bring in the left.
In the braid.
Right, yeah.
You have to just remember.
All right, so from the beginning, we're gonna strip the leaves down so you're left with a small triangle at the top. With the raffia, you're gonna just secure the 3 leaves together. And then braid from the raffia down, just like a regular braid. And eventually you'll be able to add your rows when you're ready. I see some people are going far along, so you can add your rows. The rose is going to be added by the raffia. Okay, any questions before you go too far? Okay, we'll start from the beginning again. If you want your lei to be a little wild, then you're going to so whatever you fold in, this is the part that's going to stick up. So if you want it wild, then you want it to stick up a lot. So you're going to fold it at the base. But if you want it to be a little more not so wild, then you're going to fold like up here.
Well, braid in.
Yeah. You can also add anthurium if you'd like to get some anthuriums over there to your lei. Grouping goes in the middle leg, and you're gonna come from the left and flip over. So now your left leg is now empty with no grouping. So you see it went from the right side to the left side.
And like now I put it here.
Now you put it there, yep. And then you twist, then you take the leg and the fern. You don't only have to add to the center once you get the center.
Because as you can tell here,
Right.
you see this one's open.
Yeah. And I needed some cups
And then wrap your fern.
and a pink for
You put it over. And then you keep on adding. And then over. So you want to just make the raffia on the rose part only, and then you put it here and braid this part in, like how you braid the regular stuff. That's gonna secure it in. Yeah. So your raffia has to be long enough so you can braid it. You're gonna put it in the middle, and just like the fern legs, you're gonna fold it over again after a couple.
Wow, that was a lot of fun. Nothing more beautiful than seeing all those participants wearing their leis. Now, I need a little bit of clarity on some of the language, Hawaiian language, what all of those words mean. So maybe give us a little, when they wear the lei on their head, what is that called?
And then po'o, so we call it lei po'o as a head lei.
Awesome. I think you need to build a dictionary of what all these words translate to, some of us on the mainland. So do you have any questions there, Johnny?
I do have a question here from the audience. What are the most popular leis that Leah and Kelsi that you make? The most popular ones.
The most popular would be our fragrant leis. So we have the tuberose, the pikake, of course, puakeni, and then pakalana. Of course, we have common ones like orchid, but people enjoy the fragrance.
Yeah, I think there's one orchid, a chocolate orchid, that has a little fragrance to it. Yeah.
Yes, that one we don't use for lace. That's more of a cut flower or a plant. That's
Yeah, it's kind of a small,
the tiny one.
Yeah, it's still nice.
Well, actually, I have a question.
Great.
So I see that any kind of lei making has a lot of components, a lot of many pieces that you work with, right? So do you end up foraging a lot of that yourself? Because it really is a foraged art, isn't it? Even though you may not be the one, but somebody's collecting all these. So how does that work? Do you actually buy from forager, or do you actually go out and forage yourself?
So for the ferns that we use, we do go out and forage the ferns ourselves. You do need to be registered with the Department of Land and Ag. Okay, and then to get a permit so that you can forage for things. So we go out into the forest and we just pick what we need. We know which ones to leave and which ones we can pick. We always leave the young ones so that they can grow to become mature. We just pick the mature ones. So for the ferns, we forage ourselves. A lot of the other components that we make into the lei po'os, we do buy from other farms around the island, or we grow some ourselves.
Excellent.
I have a question from the audience. One of our viewers would like to know, how long does pakalana last?
Pakalana, you can wear it 1 or 2 times at the most. It's very fragile. So if you're wearing it all day in the sun, you can't wear it after that.
So I have a question. So what is pakalana?
We didn't look that.
What does it look like? Can you give us a little description for some of us who's not familiar with the Hawaiian names?
So pakalana, it's a small green flower. So in the lei po'o that Leah and I were wearing, you see the white flower, and then the one right next to the white was the green one. That's pakalana.
Thank you very much. So
okay. Do destination brides typically request leis to be used for their weddings?
Yes, they do. So a lot of times the Hawaiian officiant will request that the couple will get a lei. So the bride and groom will do a lei exchange ceremony similar to the ring exchange. So the groom will present to the bride, and the bride will present to the groom. And we also, we just kind of encourage the couples, instead of getting boutonnieres and corsages for their parents or special guest loved ones, we just kind of try and get them to get leis since they are here in Hawaii. It will make for a nice touch to their wedding.
I love that. In fact, I always thought about destination brides, to steer them away from what's normal from where they come from, to match up with the actual destination and what fits the best. And I think there's nothing more beautiful than the leis. I just love that tradition. That makes Hawaii the perfect destination to have that special wedding, isn't it?
Definitely, yes. Yeah.
One of our viewers is asking, are there new styles of leis that are being developed compared to your traditional leis with just all the same flower? Or can you share that with us?
Yes, so they do have a modified version where traditionally we'll have one of the same flower, like all pikake, all pakalana. So now what we're seeing is that if you don't have enough flowers, then you can just make up your own design. So we'll have some pikake, we have some pua keni. You can do a single style and then switch it to a double style, all within the same lei.
That's cool. That's very innovative. And it's also very smart. Should you run out of material?
Yeah.
One of the things that I really have noticed watching your video in the workshop is that everything that you're using is organic. So the whole thing is a very sustainable method, isn't it? Everything really goes back to the earth, or that it's kept to be dried and cherished so that nothing really goes to waste, is it?
Exactly. Yeah. So the only so when we do the kui style leis, so we do use like a polyester blend string, and where we have to pierce it with the needle. So that's the only style of leis that doesn't really break down. So for when people order leis to throw into the water for like ash gathering and so forth, instead of doing it on the regular lei string, we'll sew it on raffia so it breaks down faster.
Wow, there's a definite sort of watch for the sustainable aspect, isn't it? I mean, I think being on the island, you are much more mindful of anything that goes to the landfill versus things that goes back to earth. And I think that is one of the most wonderful thing about lei making, is that it really does follow that protocol. So beautiful. That's a beautiful explanation.
Thank you. Thank you.
One of our viewers is asking, which lei is your favorite to make? Now that's a loaded question, right?
So I really enjoy the plumeria lei. It comes in a nice variety, vibrant colors. It smells really nice, and it reminds me of childhood. So you can sew it either in a simple single style lei, or you can make it a lot more voluptuous in the double style. And that lei just makes me really happy.
Plus
Yeah, I like
the fragrance. The fragrance
Yeah.
of plumeria is so sweet.
Yes, the yellow one in particular to me smells the yellow one. All the different colors have different fragrances, and the yellow one is my favorite.
Yeah.
I like the pua keni, which is a perfume scented tree. It has a nice fragrance towards the orange color, but it starts off white, then it goes to yellow, and then turns orange. So you can wear it 3 different ways.
So typically, how long do leis last, and how do you keep them to be fresh as possible for the longest amount of time?
So generally the flowers that do have the fragrance, those will have maybe like a day lifespan. You can wear it once, maybe twice if you're lucky. Other flowers like the orchids or crown flower or something, again, that doesn't have fragrance, those will last you a little longer. Each flower has its own special, unique way of how you need to keep it. For example, the pua keni that Leah likes, you don't put that in the refrigerator. It's too cold, it's gonna burn. We just kind of put it in a plastic bag and we float it in a bowl of water with some tea leaf to keep it cool. Other flowers like the pikake or the tuberose, we do need to put in the refrigerator. So some you need to keep dry, others you need to kind of, mist it with some water so it doesn't dry out. So each flower has its own unique care that we need to attend to.
So is there like a book or some kind of a guideline that all of you that make these leis kind of take note on how to sort of be to create the best techniques for care and handling and all of that? Is that all kind of passed on down the generation, or is there like a guidebook that you go to find out about these important information?
So no guidebook. We do learn from, other lei makers that share their knowledge with us. But that is a good idea. Somebody should. There are lei making books. There are lei making books, but as far as individually how to keep each different flower and what is the best way to keep them, that I don't really think that they have, all the special secrets for each. But the techniques and stuff, there are labels.
Yes.
I recall a book called Calais, written by Auntie Marie McDonald.
Yes,
And
yes.
she's from Big Island, and it's an excellent book if someone would like to look it up. I'm sure it's on the shelves, maybe, but she was an excellent lei maker along with her sister Irma Lee Pomeroy from Kauai.
So her farm is actually just 2 farms down from our farm in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Nice. What a coincidence. So I was curious. I remember years and years ago, people used to love and wear carnation leis, the nice big carnation leis. Do you ever get requests for carnation?
So carnation leis generally for graduation season.
Oh, okay.
It's not. We do need to bring in the carnations. There are no local farmers that grow the carnations anymore. So mainly just during graduation, we'll have hundreds and thousands of carnation stems that we sew. Once in a while, we'll have requests for Mother's Day
Or funeral.
or funerals. Exactly. Yeah. But graduation is our number one carnation
occasion.
Yes.
It might be a good idea to mix the Hawaiian flowers with the carnation. Another kind of tropical nouveau kind of thing, right?
Yeah, there you go.
So, one of our visitors is asking, what is the proper length for a lei?
So our standard length lei is 36 inches. But for the closed lei, yes. But you can make it any length that you want. Generally, we just tell people if it goes over your head, then as long as it can go over your head, it's long enough. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I've also learned that when I first came over to the island and was given the lei, I was wearing it with it pulled down. And I think with women, we sort of throw it over and part of it hang to the back. Is there any kind of a rule as to what the best way to wear the lei when you get them, the 36 cent?
Oh, generally when you get a lei, you have the little ribbon and it generally will be here on the side, like where a boutonniere or corsage will go. But again, lei, personal preference, there are no right and there's no right or wrong. There's a lot of brides that will, have short peacocky strands in the front and then really long 60, 70 inches on the back side. So again, whatever you think is beautiful and makes you happy.
So there's a little bit about personal styling.
Oh, definitely, yes.
Or flattering to a certain dress, a cut of a dress. I need to get into that. That's very cool. So are there any new flowers being used in lei making today that weren't used before? Are you guys exploring into introducing anything new? And especially because you guys are starting to, especially on the Big Island, some temperate flower growing. I mean, there's a lot more temperate flower growers up there. Are there any attempts at trying some different flowers that hadn't been used before?
Well, we always get requests, well, not always, but a lot of times we'll get requests for a blue lei. So we've been experimenting with the delphinium since it has that nice blue color, the light blue and the dark, so we can mix it together. And that looks, and then we don't have to, artificially spray the orchids. So that's a nice addition. We also like to, during the season of cherry blossoms, we sow the cherry blossom.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen that before. How does that go? Does that hold up well?
It's very fragile. So again, just a day wear kind of lei, but it's very, very cute.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure that's beautiful. It sounds lovely.
You guys are familiar with the blue ginger, right? The plant, the blue ginger.
Yeah.
Have you ever used the blue ginger in a lei?
We haven't. No,
not the blue ginger. No.
Oh, that might be
interesting.
Interesting blue, and it might be good to use in your lei po'o because the flowers are kind of small, yeah. Or you have to get a bunch of them. and put together?
Well, I think it's very much like in floral design as well. You know, for the longest time, you know, we were told as designers designing into a vase that certain flowers don't hold up. Don't use dahlias because they don't hold up. But that has been a kind of, you know, negated these days, because when we post that we can use these and people love it, the demand is created. So I think it's really the same with lace, isn't it? It's just a matter of trying it and see if it catches, if through social media, people are starting to request it and you fine tune it and you kind of redefine the length of, you know, time, the longevity of these flowers based on kind of, if people want it, we're going to make the best, you know, possible effort to make that to be part of our repertoire. So I think that's really exciting. That's exciting part about lei making today. I would think that there's possibility of some new ways of doing things. I mean, I really am excited. Next time I come to the Big Island, I'm going to ask you guys, and if it's in the spring especially, I'd love to see the cherry blossom. That just sounds so amazing.
The cherry blossom lei is very cute. So our trees are actually starting to flower now.
Oh my gosh. And we're just going into the dead of winter. Snow's coming soon here. So yeah, that's the beauty of where you live is there's so many beautiful flowers that are available through the year and off season. And that's even better. There again, wouldn't the bride love to have things that you can't normally have on the mainland during a different time of the year? That's just fantastic.
Do you folks ever ship lace to the mainland?
We ship lace pretty much every week. We have requests to ship lace to the mainland.
Oh, nice.
Excellent.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah, so one of the things that I remember about graduation is they wear like layers and layers till they're buried up to their head, right? Pretty cool. Pretty cool a ceremony on the Big Island and other islands in Hawaii. Excellent. Well, so thank you so much, you guys. You guys did a fantastic job. Love seeing all those beautiful leis walking out the door on their beautiful heads and beautiful picture taking as well. So thank you so much, you guys. Thank you.
We had a blast. It was so much fun.
Excellent.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.